Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the final word. Everton won. Southampton won in a utterly forgettable final game of the season at Goodison Park. It was shite, wasn't it? Let's be honest, it was really crap. Game of football, atmosphere was shite. It was just really rubbish. I can't dress it up, really, can I?
No. It was terrible. As people probably know, I took me little fella for the first time, so he loved it.
Different
obviously
experience.
Everything. So I enjoyed that side of it, seeing him, and seeing everything, enjoying it. But as a game of football, and as Everton's performance was just pathetic, especially in the first half. It was pathetic. You'd understand that there's nothing to play for and it's a flip-flop job and all that, but you just think the last home game, go out and have a bit about you, and we didn't. We were just, because we've been, to be fair, we've been alright at home, haven't we? I would have expected that kind of display away from home, where it's not like next Sunday it'll just be like pathetic at West Ham. But I just think it's just very disappointing. The way we played. The result's the result, but the way you play is just like...
That's it, isn't it? It was so lethargic, and as you said, it's the last game of the season. You expect just a little something, just a little something, last game of the season. We know it was... A lot of it was dictated by, the team. Not having Walcott, I think, was a big thing.
Definitely.
Don't know where... I know... I don't know whether he was injured or not. I get the feeling that maybe... No, don't you get the feeling that maybe he didn't want to play in it?
Why?
Because it was Southampton.
Oh, I don't know. I heard John Joe Dunham in training. He's out for the rest. He's out for the next two. He's out for Sunday as well.
Oh well there you go. I just thought he mightn't have fancied it. But even if he didn't fancy it, I wouldn't have held that against him with 2 games to go, with nothing left to the season. And even not having Rooney as well. Not having that creative spark in the middle of the pitch. Those kind of games are perfect for Rooney, because he would have just sat in the hole and just done what he wanted. And
what did you think of the way he set the team up? Don't you think Saturday for him, right? He knows he's getting it in the neck from everyone. Don't you think he'd have just gone, right, I'm going to make this awkward, like flip it back on you, on a go attacking and stump you all? Played like he could have played like Klassen and Nias or something, something a bit totally different. But it's all about self-preservation again.
Well, the sub, I'm not going to go too far, but you make the sub, you have Nias and you have Tosin on the pitch. Why not do that to start a game? If you need to do it when you're getting beat, why not start the game like that? Why not say we're going to take? Yeah, exactly. It didn't matter. It doesn't. You're up against the side who, let's be honest, were crap. Yeah, they were rubbish. They didn't come with any intent. They came to try and get a draw or just keep it quiet as long as they could. And you're thinking, do something a little bit different. Play Klassen. You've seen the reaction the fans give them. Whether it's warranted or not, it doesn't matter. Fans get a lift from things like that at times. Like when Nias sprung on the scene early in the season, fans want something a little bit different, something new, something I don't know, refreshing, just something a little bit of a change from the norm. And he didn't. It's like the same old. And he's like, for fuck's sake.
Didn't need Garnett and Schneidel, did they? It didn't.
And Davies don't. I'm just saying all three aren't.
Davies could have played. If you want to make sure Davies is getting games, play him alongside one at Schneidel or Garnett. Just mix it up. Just go. I'm sure they would have, if you'd have gone to them. Listen, I want to mix it up a little bit today. Gonna try this and this. And that's what annoys me more, I think, than anything with him, is that he hasn't even tried to spread his wings at all. Allardyce, it's all safety. It was dreadful. There was not Tosin. Feel so sorry for him. I really do. Runs around. He works hard, and we don't give him anything. We give him nothing to chase.
But he scored last week until the field. balls in front of him.
In front of him.
Ball never got in front of him once.
No. We didn't. They should have been under the cosh from the start to the finish. Really, they should have made it difficult for them. We didn't. I mean, they had no attacking intent themselves, like you said. Really. So they should have just been put on the back foot, and they weren't. It was just a game that was played in the centre circle. It was shite.
And there's it doesn't excite fans, does it? You know what I mean? You come for the last game of the season. I was probably at Goodison Park earlier than I've ever been on Saturday. I got there early and you know, had a little walk about and went to the new bar, the new Everton bar. You know, had a drink in there. I was even there for when the Everton coach turned up. That's how early I was at the ground. It was like the last game of the season. You're sort of saving it. People are having a drink.
There's no pressure.
There's no pressure. You know what? Before the game, it was great. It was like, oh, nice. It was a lovely atmosphere because there's nothing on it. It felt like a bit like, it felt like a pre-season game. There's no pressure on it. You know, you sit down and think, enjoy this. You can enjoy this today. And then as soon as the game kicks off, you're like, fucking hell, entertain me, please, entertain me. And this is where I think we're missing a trick with. You know, you look at Lookman, he scored 2 goals, and they're games where you're like, that's when you want players like Lookman in the team that'll go out and express themselves and have a go and do something a little bit different. But the lad's not even at the club at the moment. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's players there that you want to see. I know there's not loads, but there's players there that you want to see. Like a couple of years ago when it was Unsworth took over for the last game, and you had like Tom Davies playing his first game, and Dahl, Connolly. People like this, and you're like, you
invigorates the fans.
Yeah, look at this lad, look at that lad. Oh, do you know what I mean? And it's like Saturday was just flat. Once the game kicked off, it was like there was nothing new. Everything was the same. No one got a chance. You know, we had 2 right backs on the bench.
I know.
What the fuck is wrong with you? It just makes a joke.
2 right backs, and I'm not saying I wanted Ashley Williams, but I'm saying Ashley Williams can't get near the squad, which is fine. But I'm just saying, we put 2 full backs on the bench. It's just like, why have we got 3? Why we have 3 defenders on the bench?
Why didn't we put Hornby on the bench?
No,
he could have.
But you're never going to put him on. That's why.
Yeah, but if he's on the bench, at least it gives the fans some little thing, doesn't it? And then you go, maybe with 10 minutes to go, you go, go ahead, throw him on, put him on. You know, hasn't played a 13 game Goodison, put him on. It's those little things that you think. You know, there's nothing going on this game.
He doesn't even think that's the thing that frustrates me, is that there's not even any thought. And I know, listen, hopefully there will be a change, but there's not even any like forward thinking for next season. Do you know what I mean? Which should be. If he's staying, he should be forward thinking for next season. He should be going, can Klassen do it? There's nothing on this game. I mightn't get another Premier League game like these next 2 where nothing's really on it. We're probably not going to finish lower than 8th now. Leicester go to Spurs at the weekend and they'll get turned over if they haven't already lost in midweek. And that'll be it. We'll be 8th. We can't catch Burnley. Yeah. So there was 2 games. Even if we'd have caught Burnley, we couldn't overturn 15 or 16 goals, whatever it was. So there was literally nothing on those last 2 games. Nothing at all. So he could have just gone, you know what? Klassen's playing. If he wanted, John Joe could have played. I'm not advocating dropping Seamus, but I'm just saying there was those little decisions. I'm looking ahead to next season here. Morales, no, I'm messing. But but Nias and Tosin up front. Let's see what Tosin's like.
Like even things like he could have started Funes Mori if he wanted to. Because what was the point of bringing him on at half time and changing the entire shape of a team just to accommodate a lad so you can give him time before a World Cup? Do you know what I mean? Why not just say...
a winger up, don't get me wrong, Balassi. I'm not saying he didn't merit staying on a minute longer than he was on, but he took a winger off and put a centre back on. So he just left Tosin with even less opportunity to get service.
You're asking Baines to bomb up the left-hand side.
Which is alright if you've got 2 men to hit. If he'd have gone Funes Mori and Nias on at half time, we're going 3-5-2, push Baines and Coleman on, then we've got a runner in front, and that's fine, didn't he? He just left Tosin on his own. So we had 1 striker,
3-6-1,
6 midfield, and you're just like, it's Southampton
at home
when it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So take the shackles off, and you're just like, this is why people are giving you stick, mate. This is why, because
but you think but it's like he does it on purpose, though. That's the thing. That's that. I mean,
surely he can't though.
but that's what I
know it feels like that, but surely he's not thinking I'm going to piss these off. Surely you.
I think he is thinking. I think he does think I'm going to piss these off. I really do. I really think he thinks.
Well, then if he really does, then he's a sad man.
Well, I mean, before the game there was leaflets getting handed round. I never seen the leaflets, so I can't. But I seen them on Twitter.
Okay.
You know, saying I think it was turn you back on 18 minutes and then get off after 78 minutes. That didn't happen. Now I don't know whether that was because the message never got out. I'm not really sure. Handing leaflets out at the ground is the thing you need to do in the modern age because of Twitter and stuff. You know. But that was there. That was already sort of there, and then obviously full time, booze and stuff, and
booze at half time.
Yeah, booze at half time, and then you know the lap of shame or whatever. You know, I mean, do you know what? I mean, I stayed in the ground because I wanted to see what happened. And if he came out and stuff,
I stayed with obviously. With
your lad, of course, and other people stayed, and also, I stayed as well to see the likes of Seamus Coleman, because Seamus Coleman has worked his bollocks off to get back this season, and you look at him now and you think he's practically the player he was. Okay, he can do with a proper pre-season, and you know, go again. So there was that as well, but Allardyce didn't come out citing media commitments. He came down after about an hour apparently to the media.
So where had he been?
So I don't know. I spoke to someone from the Echo yesterday, and he said he had got a bit of rough time off him, to be honest, off Allardyce.
They did.
He did, yeah.
Did he?
And he said it was a while before he came down. So he didn't do media.
Hopefully he's just been sacked.
He didn't do media after the game, so he said, "No, I'll tell you later." But it, you know, it, and then come out with all like we deserve more than all that. Why do you deserve more than all that? Do you know what? Right, fans I'll say about football fans, and I include myself in this. Football fans are fickle. If you'd put a performance in on Saturday, a good performance, at the end, fans would have gone, well done lads, for that game, and you almost forget everything else that goes on. All right, people might mistake for the lap, but for that game in particular, you give them, you know, well done sort of thing. I mean, you can see when we scored, it wasn't like it was like, oh well done, we scored. Everyone was absolutely made up, you know, 96 minutes and everything. Tom Davies bouncing around like a lunatic. No, but you know, I think they got exactly what they deserved. You know, the team for the performance for the season and for the manager, and I think that's the thing with the disconnect between the manager and the fans is incredible. It really is. It's really. I don't know if I've ever known it at Everton, because we've had bad managers. But I think the bad managers sort of understood or appreciated their place in it all. I don't know if he quite does.
See, I'm uncomfortable with the whole Allardyce thing. I want him to go.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. The disconnect is there massively.
But how does a fan?
But I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not going. What are we? I'm just going. It makes me uncomfortable because it's my club, and it's like I haven't witnessed this before. Even with Kendall, when Kendall was struggling the first time, people booze was the mark. Yeah, they painted his carrot, but the marker was booze. Then that was what it was. That was the thing that told you.
But do you think with other people, it's almost like the treatment they get is almost like a mark of respect against them. Do you know what I mean? Like with Martinez, it didn't really filter into the ground, did it?
So Martinez was booze, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then it was banners,
Yeah.
wasn't it? And then it was like a protest after the game. But during the game, there was no because he was respectful of the club.
Yeah.
So eventually the fans were like, listen, enough is enough now. It's not happening, it's blah, blah, we're going the wrong way. You know, he dealt with it that way. Obviously Moyes didn't really have that. He had discontent at times because there was discontent, because it was Walter Smith, it was shite, and fans, again, it was booze, wasn't it? It was booze, and it was, you know, whatever, which is mad because he was taking us down, Walter, so you would have thought it would have been more vitriolic. I think it would be now in this day and age. I think either. So it just makes me a little bit like that. But the flip side to that is his total lack of awareness of the situation. Instead of trying to soften it, the edges at times, he just makes it worse. He makes it more spiky. So the way he is, when I speak to people and they go, "We've got to go," and all, and I go, "I agree, totally agree. I've got to go." You know, we're not, and I hear people go, "It's not the football aside, it's the way he's disrespectful and stuff like that." And I'm like, so that's bugging people more, almost, than the way. The thing that's bugging me is no forward thinking, and the way the team plays is bugging me more than the way he is, because he is what he is. I'm looking at it from a football perspective and going, this can't continue. The likes of Lookman shipped out on loan. You know, I'm not saying Sandro would have been good anyway, but I'm just saying Sandro was Klassen just ignored. That to me is a far greater indication that he can't be at this football club.
You know how angry I was when Lookman went, because that to me was the sign that there was no forward thinking. You know, we need long-term planning, and we're making these short-term decisions that are gonna cost this football club. You know, just on someone like Lookman is a massive talent who could have been utilised in the second half of the season,
which would have set him up for next season.
Exactly. You know, and instead we've persisted with Balassi, who, whichever way you look at it, it hasn't recovered properly from the. He just you know, whatever you think about him beforehand, I think there was a level of you know, that there was a base level where he could get things done. He could make an impact without being brilliant, but he could. You know, he has. I don't think he's got that. He makes individual things happen at times. Whereas Lookman, him on one side and Walcott on the other,
would be dangerous.
Would be very dangerous, and he showed at Leipzig that he needs to play. Like, he went in first game, scored a goal, then he was in and out for weeks. You know, not quite finding the consistency. They were probably looking at him, seeing what was best for him, where they could utilise him. And you know, in the last 4 or 5 games, he's really started to look like, you know, a player. And it just frustrates me, because you can see him now, and you just think, you're happy there now. You probably don't want to come back. Why would you want to come back if he's still in charge? And those people are making decisions, because it's not just Allardyce as well. You know, it's Steve Walsh as well. It's Mashiri. It's Bill Kenwright. You know, all right, Mashiri's not there day to day. I wouldn't imagine. You know, it frustrates me so much. It's a bigger thing, because I still feel like the club's just up in the air, and everything needs to get sorted out this summer for the sake of fans. It just fucking drives me mad that things haven't been put in place. We're going into another summer with everything up in the air.
What are we doing pre-season?
I'll tell you later.
No, what I'm saying.
Well, I know. No, again, there's some pre-season. I've had this
Is our chief executive staying?
I have no idea. Is Marcel Brands coming in? And if he is, or he isn't, who's signing the players?
Are we replacing the manager?
I have no idea.
Are we replacing our chairman? Are we building the ground?
I don't know. All these things.
See, you just look and you go, where's the fucking plan?
We're going to get a lot of videos out of all this, I know that. It's well, that's it, isn't it? There should be. I'm not being funny, right? But if we're not sitting here next week and we don't know half of the answers to those questions, then then we've got problems. Because this is going to be
far up the
the shortest summer ever, and we'll do that on another video because we've got more time. We need more time for that. But between the World Cup and the transfer window, shutting 2 weeks early.
It's about 4 weeks, isn't it? 3 weeks. 4 weeks.
It's no, it needs to be sorted out from top to bottom, and that's the problem. You can't sort out top to bottom in a window. So I'm open. This time next week, we've already done a couple of videos on this, that, and the other, because it needs to be sorted out. It's getting and there's nothing coming from the club. You don't know who's doing what. It just baffles me. Anyway, let's just go back to the game. Shy first half, makes a sub. Why are you making that sub? Why are you bringing Funes Mori on? Why are you fucking massaging his ego for a World Cup? Why not just start him? There's nothing on the game. Just say, listen, Keane, Sam, mate, going to leave you out today, going to give him a game because there's a World Cup coming. Keane, you're not going to the World Cup because you've been shit, right? But he is going to the World Cup because Argentina's defence is shit, so you sound on that. And just say, you're starting today next to Jags, right? What I would have done?
Or put him next to Keane.
Nah, don't be stupid. Fucking hell, mate, I mean, it's still a game of footy.
You've still got
Let's
a
not
look.
go mad now.
You've still got to look, haven't you? Got to look ahead again to next season.
Well, yeah, you're right.
You've got to look. Jags, I love Jags, and he's still our best defender, but at the end of the day, he's 35,
Play
36.
play forever.
Maybe he will play forever. Maybe that's the only hope we've got. Maybe he's Benjamin Button. We fucking need him to be. But yeah, the sub was, like you said, if he'd have gone 2 of them at half time, the ass up front with Sosen and Funes Mori, 3 at the back, 3-5-2, let's get at these, had they gone, fair enough, he's made a positive decision. Took an attacking winger off, well, in name, and put a centre back on against a team in the bottom 3 who were struggling, who weren't showing any attempt to come forward. The only 3 shots they had in the first half were in the same move.
Yeah.
You know, so it was just pathetic. Yeah. It was pathetic.
They go down the right.
Well, we give the ball. Vlasic, who got worse as the game went on in terms of releasing the ball or knowing what was around him. And he didn't do this last week at Huddersfield. He was much better in possession at Huddersfield than he was this week. He started off alright and then he kind of deteriorated as the game went on. He lost the ball, didn't he, him and Sosen? Give the ball away and they broke on us very quickly.
But still, I mean...
But I'd only watched the goal again after I'd seen your tweet saying what the fuck was Keane doing. And I thought, I'll watch it again and have a look. And he just gets attracted to the wrong player.
But he can see.
He looks at Redmond. He looks at Redmond first, so they're running. So he sees Redmond and he's like, I've got you. And I think it's Charlie Austin runs there, but he's not running towards the ball.
And he's got a player next to him.
And Jags, I think, or someone's over there. So why he gets attracted?
But he's not this is what annoys me about defending now. He's not the danger. The lad behind's the danger.
Well, sort him. And then if it goes to him, he can just turn around and go, I've got 2, mate. Who've you got? Can't you? But he comes across. Well, in fact, to be honest, he doesn't do one or the other.
No,
he goes in the middle. And the ball evades him, and it's a good cross, and it's a good header, and you're 1-0 down, and you're like, that come from literally nothing, you know. And then they were dangerous for 15 minutes after that, only because Redmond was running at us. But it's just a good job he hasn't really got any end product. Otherwise, he could have killed us off. Poor goal.
And then he took Jags off, and then we looked even worse at the back. Brought the ass on though.
I mean, that was a positive substitution. Took one of his centre backs off to bring a striker on, and he'd gone 3 at the back. I don't know why. Well, whatever. It didn't matter. What I mean is, he took a centre back off and put a striker on, which is fine. And all of a sudden, just because Nias were running behind, we pushed them back then, and they started looking very shaky. Then they were flapping, you know. And Tosin got hold of the ball a little bit more, or he had flicks on because he had someone to aim for. You know, and Nias, whatever you say about Nias, he makes things happen.
He does make, and just having another centre forward makes things happen, you know. And the lad gets sent off for them as well, which
it was a naughty tackle.
It was. I thought it was a straight.
It should have been a straight. That it was a naughty tackle.
And then, what was it, 4 minutes, and To be honest, when we scored, I didn't realise how little time there was left. It made me laugh though, because I think it was it Redmond who cleared the ball, and if he
Burton.
Burton, yeah, and
just let it run off.
And if he'd let it go out, or just put his foot through it into the stand.
Well, it was being our throw-in, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I think he was trying to prevent us having a throw in the corner flag.
Kept it alive.
Give it to Garner.
Ball gets pulled back to Tom Davies, and he puts it in via the deflection. And I didn't realise how very little time there was left, but.
Well, it was only added on because Cedric was arsing about trying to waste time.
Yeah.
And that was the funny thing.
Yeah, no conspiracy theories, please.
There was nothing wrong with him. And he went down rolling about. And when the ref told him to get up, he just got up.
Yeah.
And then Shane Long's moaning. And it's like, Shane, go and have a word with your right back. Yeah. He was arsing about for ages when there's nothing wrong with him, mate. You know, so. No. But I mean, I don't think anyone could argue they deserved to win because they didn't deserve to win. Everton had more of the ball. You know, the chances were very similar.
It's mad though, isn't it? Because when that goal went in, yeah, we were all like obviously delighted we scored, but you forget how important that you know, all their plays down in the box, and you're thinking they all looked, but it was mad because they all looked like they'd like you know, when you play a game of footy and you sort of feel like you've got through the worst spell. You're thinking, you haven't had a spell to get through. Like you've been defending for your life. You hadn't been. You'd had it quite easy. And then we'd score, you know.
Well, like, I mean, we had the one where Nias stood it up to the back post and Towson just couldn't thingy. Keeper had made a brilliant save and Baines' free kick. Yeah, that was in the top corner, a brilliant save. And they'd got blocks in when they needed to. It wasn't any kind of pressure. It was just sporadic attacks that they had to fend off. But it's the magnitude of it, and I think they probably realised that these aren't really that hard.
Yeah, big opportunity.
Scored, you know, and they've scored at the very end. You know, and you do forget. But all of Mark Hughes is the most. I tweeted this the other day. I just dislike him so much, which is rare for an ex-Everton player. You know, Barnby, I just kind of swerve. Do you know what I mean? I don't hate Barnby because I just think you're a knobhead. So I let him off because he's a knobhead. Mark Hughes, I hate because he's just a crying ass, and I'll never forgive him for the Man City shite when he was the manager and he thought he was Billy Big Balls. So if he takes 2 teams down this season, then it's the thing called karma, which is why he should be nice to people. So it went in and it preserved an unbeaten run and made sure we didn't lose another home game, and it would have been the first time we lost a home game to them in 21 years, which is mad. Yeah. The Kevin Davis, when we made Kevin Davis that day.
When
the
slalom.
In part.
No, but yeah, it was just poor. It was a poor game to be sending fans home with. And anyway, let us know your thoughts about this shit game. Yeah, there's nothing else to say. There's nothing else to say. One more game left of the season. Thanks for watching Toffee TV. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. We've just gone over 24,000. Thank you to everyone who's subbed. But if you haven't subbed, please do so we can get to 25,000.
Take a sec.
Yeah. Click the bell for alerts as well, so you know when a video comes out. And if you want more videos and podcasts, join us on Patreon. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.